Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I am your friendly neighborhood PM, back again for another week. Now, I do apologize for missing last week's video, but it is the middle of summer and therefore it is wedding season. So I will be traveling around to visit and attend various weddings throughout the summer. So forgive me whenever I can't get you your video, but I will always come back the next week and do what I can. So without further ado, we're going to get you right on your way for your weekend and give you your top 3 points of the week as always. So at point number 3 is Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen going over to visit China this past week. Now, this comes among a time when the United States and China are in a bit of a trade war, especially over the semiconductor industry. But the aim of this trip was to help improve communications relations between the two economies. That way, both of these nations could help handle global challenges together in a more cohesive manner, especially since they're the number 1 and number 2 global economies on the planet. Now, only time will tell if these relations really do improve over time. At point number 2, I'm sure most people saw the headline this week, but it was Meta, aka Facebook, launching their essentially Twitter rival, Threads, via Instagram this past week. Now, what this means is that there is now a true blue rival to Twitter. And really, the new Threads platform got over 70 million signups in just its first 48 hours alone, according to Mark Zuckerberg, released this morning. Now, this, like I said, continues to renew that rivalry between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. And this is not the first time that the Facebook CEO has essentially copycatted a better idea in the past from other platforms, whether that's Snapchat stories and now Instagram stories, or Reels on Instagram via TikToks. So only time will tell, like we were saying earlier, but a pretty explosive adoption on the onset of this new platform. So stay tuned on that front. And finally, number 1, we're going to dial it back, be more economic like we try to do. And it was non-farm payrolls coming in this morning, adding another 209,000 jobs to the economy. Now, this number did come in a little bit softer than expectations, and which is something that the Federal Reserve does want to kind of see, and it kind of helps dictate what they're going to do on the interest rate path. But even though this was softer, we still saw wage growth increase and the unemployment rate, tick down a little bit. So we're not really anticipating the Fed to change what they were planning on doing at this next July meeting, which is more than likely hike another 25 basis points. Now, what are we looking forward to for next week? It's the same thing as always. It's that time of the month. So we're going to be looking at CPI numbers coming in, and that's going to really be our last major data points before their next rate decision coming up at the end of July. So really stay tuned for that. See if those shelter rents have continued to moderate a little bit. Otherwise, that pretty much does it for this week's video. If you ever have additional questions, as always, please reach out to your financial advisor or dive into the written week in review version. Otherwise, go out, try and stay cool out there in this hot summer. But otherwise, have a great weekend. We'll see you the same time next week. Thanks. Bye.